Hey everybody, I'm Crow, and welcome back to Slay the Spire, this time with mods. I really like this game, so even after we sucked and died last time, and then moved on to other games, I kept playing it. And then I moved on to mods. The list of mods will be in the description, but it's basically just the downfall stuff, the Slay the Spire library extension that we need to make all of the other mods work, 50 potions bundle, and then 3 characters. So, Izuyoi Sakuya, Marisa, and Yuyuko Saigyoji. Marisa's like the weakest, and probably the most balanced. Izuyoi Sakuya is either absolutely unstoppable or dies immediately. And Yuyuko Saigyoji just in general feels pretty good. We're still low ascension because I'm not like amazing. Like, this is literally the cap. Even on the regular ones, like, Ironclad's the one that I've had the most luck with, and we've still only made it to Ascension 8. So I'm not amazing. Don't expect any, like, super top-tier gameplay, but the game is super fun. And this one actually has animations. I love that it actually has animations. So basically how she works is that she has this fan thing that makes it so that, first of all, whenever you defeat an elite, you get an Aether Charge, which stacks up to 6. So if you fight 6 elites, fighting elites doesn't do anything else for you after that. But they add effects depending upon whether or not you get the rest of her items, because there's an extra event every floor, or every act, that you can choose, and they have effects based on how many of the Aether Charges that you have. But you can right-click it once per combat, and you can draw a card and discard a card, because she has lots of discarding synergy. And whenever she attacks, she gets either a butterfly or a flower, I believe, depending upon whether you use an attack or a skill card, and you get one based off the first thing that you do the turn. So, let's see. Dang, I don't really like many of these. Let's try a random event, I guess. While crawling to the rubber, you manage to get your legs stuck with some rocks. So this either lets you upgrade a defend or lose a defend. I think I'm actually going to upgrade it. Weird start. But anyway. Elites. 1, 2, 3. So go the dangerous path since it's still the early act. Don't need to hit a store yet. So hang full left and then go right. I think I like that. So delicate means that if we discard it, it plays the effect anyway. So we gotta block 14. And because we use this, we got a butterfly first. Each turn you can only get one because it's based off the first turn that the first card that you play the turn. Once you get over 3 of them, you can consume 2 of them to activate an effect. I generally never do that because I like having them, because lots of cards depend on you having multiple butterflies or whatever. But if I do this, I can discard Tempted Mind. And like Perplexed Mind is ethereal, which means it has effects based off of the Sakura and the butterflies that we get for using our stuff on the first turn. So if I had 1 Sakura, I would discard a card when playing this. We get 4 block no matter what. Because we have a butterfly, we apply 1 Moribund to a random enemy. Moribund reduces the damage dealt by 2 for every 2 stacks of it. So one of them wouldn't actually do anything. I don't think anyway, because you need 2. But once you get to 10 stacks, it reduces the damage they do by 5, which is really amazingly awesome on the enemies that attack lots but only do like 1 damage each. And whenever they die, regardless of how much Moribund they have, whether it's 1 or 100, you get 5 HP back. Or no, it's up to the Moribund, so up to 5, I think. Something like that. Either way, we full block this. I'm going to try to speed this up so that it's not boring, but I wanted to explain how she works. Because I feel like that's mildly important. I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna play some Moribund, and then I'm gonna full block. Not taking damage is gonna be key. We're just gonna block. They're gonna weaken us, and it's not going to make a bit of difference. Now that we've reached 3, we can choose 1. We can draw 3 cards and then discard a card, losing 2 of the Sakura. Or we can return a card from your discard pile to your hand. So that would get us the strike back. As you can see, that's really freaking neat. 2 blur. Ooh. So this is really strong. Oh, it doesn't show the upgraded version. So whenever you upgrade this, it goes to 5 times the target's moribund. And moribund doesn't decrease. So I've gotten some like hundreds of armor at once with this. And then if you get calipers, you win. She's got some really strong interactions, but I mean, so does the Ironclad and the other people. Eternal Death. Whenever you cause an enemy to lose HP, that enemy gains 2 moribund. Whenever an enemy gains moribund, gain 2 block. Boop. Stacking moribund is one of my favoriteest things. Now you can see we can't go anywhere or do anything. That's because after the first battle of each act, you're forced into an event that gives you a choice. Your investigation regarding the disappearance of the demon tree, the Saigyo Ayakashi, from the Netherworld has led you here. Your intuition tells you that it has taken residence high above in the Spire. In order to ascertain the Saigyo Ayakashi's whereabouts, you feel you have to make good use of your powers. You sense an innumerable amount of souls wandering the Spire, many of which retain a strong will from their past lives. As the Lord of the Netherworld, you know what these souls exist, or you know that these souls exist in a highly abnormal state. There will be risks in discovering them for yourself. You consider your options. I've always done this because doing things is neat, but basically what this has to come down to is abandoning the events. You don't get any negatives. Doing the events, you don't get all the items and get to do the end game story thing. Basically, doing these events makes the early game and a little bit of the mid game harder, and then it makes the harder joke. If I have beaten the Act 3 boss, I have never once lost to the heart with her. Because there's like a special story event with it. But I think it's super cool and fancy. I don't really know much about Toho, but it's just good. Exerting more of your power, you sense that a majority of the souls are gathering inside the body of a powerful entity, as if they were swallowed up. You decide a vessel is needed to contain these souls, even considering the dangers they present, the possibility of being overloaded with their energies. Gain Soul Crucible. So what this does is you get plated armor equal to your Aether Charge, so that thing that you get whenever we beat an elite, so you can get up to 6 plated armor every single combat, but depending upon your ascension, with 20% at no ascension and 30% at 20 ascension, you take just 30% extra damage from everything, from every fight. So, that means that the big hits are, like, insurmountably big. This is what makes the early game scary for her, because whenever you fight bosses, like, they're gonna be hitting for 3% more than they would normally. That doesn't have much of an impact on these guys, 22%. Alright, I can't fully stop this anyway. I want to do this. I'm sorry, I'm bad. I need to block as much of this as I can. Early game is scary. But even if I attacked them, I wouldn't have been able to kill them. We have a butterfly, so now we begin with attack. Okay. Probably going to want to full block that, but this costs 0, so I'll discard one of the defends. Putting moribund on them, increasing our armor by 2. We already full blocked, but I'm going to use this anyway. We got such, like, cool effects and animations and stuff. Also, the English isn't terrible. The Sakuya Izuyoi one is, like, a really, really, really cool mod. English is really, 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 really hard to understand. Like, I got to, like, Ascension 6 or something before I actually figured out how it worked. Like, a lot of the cards, we'll probably do a run with them, too, because I really like that as well. I'll just return a card. Delicate. I'm gonna use this, because I can. I'm gonna discard this. We're gonna take 5 damage. Just because I can. Sorry, I'm BMing the enemies. Smoke bomb for running away when we make terrible mistakes. Oh, these are awesome. So reincarnations are curses that you put in your hand, but they're all ethereal. And what they do is, at the end of your turn, whenever they burn up, they do damage, depending upon how many reincarnations have been burned. So there's like a counter on the left side of the screen over here. And every single time one's burned, they do 1 more damage. So if you burn 5 in one turn, it'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the next one will do 6, regardless of when it is. So this is 8 block, and if you have either one, Sakura or a Butterfly, you get a Reincarnation. So this is an awesome block card that does damage, and I'm pretty sure Reincarnation ignores armor. So if they have block, this will go through the block. Dead Butterfly, deal 7 damage. If you've discarded a card this turn, exhaust a random card in your hand, and choose one of 3 random cards to add to your hand. It costs 0 this turn. I know that cards like this are like Gamba. They can be really good. I don't really use these. And this is really, really, really good, but you have to have a bunch of different cards to help you build Moribund. This is a free 25 damage shot in the face, but they have to have 8 Moribund. So we're totally going to take the Weeping Higanbana or whatever it was. You happen upon a group of what looks like purple fire spirits dancing around a bonfire. So, depending upon what you give them, they heal you. The better the card. Basic cards don't give you anything, but if I gave them like a Tempted Mind or a Perplexed whatever, or Weeping Higanbana whatever, they'd probably give us like 5 HP, and then for uncommon and rare cards and stuff, like rare cards, they fully heal you. I don't know if they would for this, but we just need to get rid of bad cards. They're disappointed, so we leave. But whenever you... I guess if I'm explaining this thoroughly, I'm assuming everyone's played this game before. Whenever you fight enemies, you get to pick cards at the end of the battle. Well, 1 of 3, depending on, unless you have a relic that lets you choose more stuff. And then these are random mystery things. Anything can happen in these. There's like a 10% chance that they're battle. There's stores. Campfires let you rest and upgrade your cards and stuff. And then there's elites and stuff. And when we get to the end, there's a boss. And this is the storyteller from the Downfall mod, where you just have to survive the whole time. So we already know that ahead of time. Storyteller is a lot easier than the other ones, I feel. So they're going to buff, which means we're going to buff. I kind of want to use that. Oh, that's right, I had to attack to get the discard. Oh well. In fact, I believe that's the only card in my deck with Delicate, right? So there's not really much reason for me to use that other anyway. So I will take the free damages, please. So if I attack now... Didn't give me more Moribund. Whenever you cause an enemy to lose HP, that enemy gains 2 Moribund. Is it not damage, but specifically HP loss? I think this might be specifically from Reincarnation and effects like that. The wording can be kind of funky. I swear I've played this character a bunch, but sometimes I'm just like... I think it's the Black Candle that I'm thinking of. Apologies, friends. Okay, so... This gets the effect. Whenever they glow green, it means that you meet 1 or more of the requirements on the card, by the way. We have 1 of each, which means we would satisfy anything for any of our cards. So I'm going to play this, which will allow me to discard the Delicate Tempted Mind. Delicate means it plays anyway. They get 1 more bun from the card as well. I'm going to Weeping Higan... Is it just Higan? Yeah, Weeping Higan. That will get us a couple of reincarnations. And we already full block. So that's going to do 1 and 2 damage. And they did, in fact, get extra Moribund. So... Confirmified. Gain 1... Oh, that's the opposite. Whenever you get the massed butterflies, the other effect is, whenever you apply a debuff to an enemy, they take 3 damage this turn. It's just this turn. And we lose 2 of the butterflies. Or, gain an artifact. And that's insanely awesome in a lot of ways, because being able to just get free artifacts, it has great synergy with potions and lots of other stuff. I literally just took that because the other thing was useless. We're gonna win anyway. Unplayable. If this card is discarded from your hand or exhausted, gain energy. Unearthly. If exhausted, put a random card from your exhaust pile into your hand. That card gains ethereal for the rest of combat. Soul Strike was 5 damage, and 1 vulnerable and moribund to all enemies. Feast of Death. Delicate. Gain 5 block and apply 1 weak to all enemies. The weak and the block on this is actually super nice, and it being delicate, meaning we can discard to play it, super high value. I actually really like Soul Strike because this gives us a way to damage all enemies for the AoE, and it also applies not only vulnerable but more moribund as well, which will reduce the damage they do, and since we take 22% extra, that's pretty huge. However, this is a rare card, and we're less likely to run into this, so I'm going to take one of these. Also more like discard synergy stuff. So we're going to use this to hit him. It didn't give me a thing? I played an offensive card. Powers don't count. Okay, what if I play this? Okay, now we have Butterfly. Now we have Reincarnation. 1 damage is fine. These guys hit really hard. We gotta get through them. These guys are basically like little mini-bosses. Punching us on the face for 14. So this is delicate. We have 1 Butterfly, and Butterfly is moribund, which means we need to attack. I will attack. This will give us a Sakura. We get 4 block. We can discard a card, which will give us 5 more block, and apply weak. But they're not going to attack this turn because I'm dumb. Never mind. I'm just playing cards. I'll always try to explain my thought process. They now permanently do 4 more damage because they have 4 strength. They also block 6. Okay. Only taking 3 is not too bad. So, Weeping Hegan. And we'll do that. Hopefully this applies the damaging effect, the extra 3, whenever these hit, and then it applies the moribund. But we shall see. Okay, well we got enough to full block. This is good. This time the Feast of Death will not be wasted. We already full block. Still use all the cards just because I can. There's another character, not Sakuya, Marisa. We're playing more cards, it stacks up a counter, so I always get in the habit of playing cards if I can, unless I have an ice cream or something. Or I'm fighting Time Eater, the Stage 3 boss, Act 3. We're going to play one of these. They're going to take lots of extra damage, and I think we have lethal. So that'll blow them up, because now it does 4 damage. Broken Dream. Gain 5 block, gain 1 Sakura. So even if it's not the first card you play, this gives you a Sakura. If the previous card played was an attack, increase the potency of all reincarnation cards by 2. However, this is not the counter on the side. I don't believe that this is a permanent increase to all cards, and it is only the cards in your hand, not in your deck. So if you have extras in there, this doesn't do anything to them. This is cool, but Butterfly Delusion is awesome. Next turn you gain energy. It's ethereal, so if you have 2 Sakura, you get 1 strength permanently. And if you have a Butterfly, you can discard a card, which works with the other synergies. Trackless Path, Delicate, apply 2 weak and moribund to all enemies. If this card is discarded from your hand, gain 1 Sakura. Because it's Delicate. Ooh, Trackless Path actually super good, but I absolutely love the energy and stuff that comes from this. Coming here, we have the choice to rest. We can get 30% of our max HP, upgrade a card in our deck, or get the Ruby Key. There's 3 keys, a Ruby Key, an Emerald Key, and a Sapphire Key. If by the end of the game we have all 3 of them, we get to fight an extra boss. We will be fighting the extra boss, because story. So this gains 2 strength instead. 11 block. An upgraded block would actually be amazing. This just retains. I never upgrade this one. Retain means that it doesn't leave your hand, so at the end of the turn, if we couldn't afford to pay for it, we can pay for it next turn, or whenever, you know, just keep it for stuff. 7 and 2 weak, that's actually pretty big. And 10 damage. I don't tend to upgrade that one. I think 2 strength at a time is really good. Getting 2 Sakura can suck, but for boss fights and stuff, you actually get the opportunity to build it up. So this guy, the Gremlin Knob, prevents us from casting any skill cards, because he gets stronger when we do that. But this first turn, he's got to get that buff. So we do whatever. Sakura will allow us to discard a card. So we can get rid of this and play all of our cards. Also drew one. The week will be wasted. So we have to kill him before he gets too big. I need to get one more Sakura. So this will now permanently give us 2 more damage on all cards. So we get the same 2 that he gets. Unfortunately, 21 damage is huge because we take 22% extra. So I'm going to want to block this. Because the block, even though it will permanently increase his damage... God, this is going to suck. The early game is scary with her. Powers, thankfully, do not give him more in power on his Enraged, because it's only whenever you play a skill. However, that is a scary amount. We don't have a lot of health. But even if I play this, it's not going to block a meaningful amount. So I'm going to play this. I need a butterfly to apply Moribund. We're really going to want the Moribund, but I just can't right now. We'll get rid of that so that we can play this. Apply Weak. And nearly full block. 47 out of 84. God, that is a devastating amount. God, this 22 extra damage is scary. Maybe we're might gonna have to diverge onto a different path, because holy cow, dude. Oh, we were also vulnerable. 50% more damage for 2 turns. Blur just lets us keep armor to the next turn, and this lets us escape from a non-boss, but we don't get rewards. So... I think this is a full block. We'd still take 30 from this. I think the run might actually be lost already. We will get more armor from this, right? But, yeah. Her starts are brutal. She's like definitely a late game character. I actually don't have enough to make this work, lol. Okay. Draw 3 cards, discard a card. This. Let me discard and do that. I don't have the damage to kill them this turn. Nor do I have the health to survive that. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna draw this out.